Yeah, that's the question that we also want answers for. So, see, within let's say a river bank, okay, the kind of sorts of minerals that will be very close to the water body and will be far away probably will differ. Then there are certain family which somehow wants to feed on these rocks which are wet. So I'm sure the rocks will have different mineral contents, right? So if someone needs to analyze that and see why a particular family.
So I feel that they may be picking up some microorganisms which help them in digestion of whatever that because so far means nobody has analyzed the so-called salt content in any of these samples. Salt means many salts: magnesium chloride, calcium, sodium, potassium. You have number of anions and cations. So you have to first link it to some metabolic activity or defense activity or some sort of biochemical activity.
The theory here is that only males pick up protein. So if the females were also doing then maybe the whole digestive thing would have come into picture. But since it's only the males which are doing, and I think the theory is that they do it to take these salts which are lost during mating or for mating or for the salts which are lost during mating. That's the theory for bird mating. What kind of area do you prefer? What salts?
So if it is only question of sodium potassium ions, then we have to study the differential performance of sodium potassium pump in male and female butterfly. The females may be more efficient in conservation of the electrolytes. And
they might get it from the males as well.
And secondly, because see, basically all the these species need sodium and potassium to maintain the isotonic balance of the cells. So it all depends on how much energy a male butterfly spends and a female butterfly spends. What is your opinion? Who is more active?
Males are more active.
Exactly. So since males are more active in butterfly world, naturally the males need to get the extra surplus source of sodium and potassium. So it may not have to do anything with mating, because mating is not for days and weeks. It may be just few microseconds or seconds or maybe 1 minute. How prolonged is the mating in a male-female butterfly?
Sometimes couple of days.
Days?
Yeah, they remain attached for a couple of days.
That is very objectionable in the sense. I mean, in that case.
There are records of it's a published record of some species, not in India. Something like 14 or 15 days.
14 on 50 days mating means that would create a huge amount of salt loss. Of course, I have not seen the original papers, but I think the salt leaks and all have to do with sodium potassium only. Because other things, calcium and all, will come from nectar or some other tissues and this. I believe it is sodium potassium.
The question is, the sodium potassium, why do butterflies,
females?
No, the males. Why do they choose a particular area to feed on? One of my field observations is that aquariums are closer to water because they have got longer legs. So, the smaller butterflies probably get submerged. Where this longer legs one can stand comfortably.
No, another theory or hypothesis that I would like to put forward goes like this. So, if you see more than one individual or say a congregation of butterflies taking salt or whatever it is, first of all we have to have definite proof of their intake through the proboscis. Okay, we have to prove that they are indeed taking up something from them. Suppose there is a mimic aggregation pheromone which is present in the soil, which mimics their aggregation behavior. Then because of the emission of that aggregation pheromone, only the male receptors will pick up that aggregation pheromone from that site. And they will congregate there and we will believe that they are licking something. So first you have to rule out that there is no mimic molecule, aggregation pheromone in that, because aggregation pheromone brings the entire identical species together. It is species specific. Understood. So one has to rule out under control condition there is no aggregation mimic molecule. And you know what happens is in any decaying matter, in any decaying vegetation, especially near river banks, wetlands and all, this type of small volatile molecules in decaying matter are always present. Hundreds of these. So some of these, because they come from vegetation decay, so hundreds of these may be picked up in that gradient which that chemical forms in that habitat. And that may be olfactory receptors or chemoreceptors, may be picking up the butterflies, maybe simply going there in that direction. And as long as that gradient doesn't disappear, they are there, sitting there. aggregating without communicating anything. So this is just a hypothesis. I am not in a position to test it, but I am just offering it free of charge.